Good morning. I'm at a little bolt hole called Telowie Gorge. I've driven past the sign for this place on countless trips up the highway number 1 between Adelaide and Port Augusta. And I've walked above the gorge on the highest and last year up near Go-Kart Shelter. I've never been in here. I've always wanted to come in and check it out. So anyway, today is the day. I'm thinking it's going to be a bit of a speculator. I'm not too sure how far this track goes. I mean, if you read online, they say there is no track, and there's a pretty good track here at the moment. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to head into the gorge, well, up as far as I can be bothered, and see what things look like. Maybe if I'm lucky, really, really lucky, I might see a rock wallaby, but I won't count on that. So this is what I'm looking at. I'm guessing this is Telowie Creek. I'm thinking this place is probably a little bit off the normal tourist kind of map a little bit. I know probably the more popular one is up at Alligator Gorge and Manbury Creek at Mount Remarkable. So I'm thinking the vision might be actually a little bit better on the way back out of the gorge when I'm not walking into the sun. Pretty short walk this one. I'm probably going to come around 2 k's. I'm thinking maybe 2.5. No wobblies yet. So it gets rugged fairly quick. Probably only 300 metres from the car park. Maybe a little bit more than that. That's pretty spectacular through here. Not great with the sun, but you get the idea. That's a little bit better now. So I'm going to swing right up around this corner here. I'm following a bit of an AllTrails route, so we'll see how that goes. So the comments in AllTrails suggested that there was no track, but there's been pretty well. There's been a few sections where I've walked the riverbank, or the riverbed for 50, 60 metres, but it's mostly been a decent pad to follow. I mean, you could always walk the creek bed. It's not, you'd have to skirt around a couple of pools, but there's definitely a track. so far. I'm about 700 metres into the gorge. Well, it's getting a little more feral now. There's still a bit of a pad, but the gorge is obviously closing in. There's a bit of water around the actual creek bed you got to get around sometimes. But the going's still pretty good, really. Just got to kind of pick your way upstream along the path of least resistance. So there's actually a little bit of water in spots trickling down. Some spots it's going underground, some spots it's trickling over the rocks. But yeah, I wasn't really expecting that. It's always nice when there's a little bit of water around there. Still no wobblies. I did talk to a volunteer in the car park and he said he hasn't seen rock wallabies here for a long time, which didn't fill me with confidence. So it looks like the gorge splits there to some degree. It's probably just a side gully, that one I'm looking at. I'm swinging on the left-hand branch where there's a bit of a track. You see the flood debris piled up in the trees up here. What an awesome sight this place would be in a flood. Oh gee, you wouldn't get in there. That's looking pretty epic up there. It's very nice. So this little choke point here, I've just climbed up kind of from down there. This is where the AllTrails route stops. But from what I can see, there's nothing really stopping you exploring further if you want. I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm actually on my way to Alice Springs, so I can't spend the whole day here, but I'll go a bit further and check it out and see if it might open up. Well, it doesn't look like it. So I'm about 1.3 k's in. Look at a cave. I bet you goats are living in there. Let's go have a look. Yeah, so I've climbed up into the cave. I've just jumped out because, yeah, it's a bit feral goat smelling like. I don't need that all over me for the drive up the Alice Springs. They don't mind a cave with a view though, do they? Okay. We'll go another 5 minutes, see what we find. And then I'll swing back, I think. I'll try and get up to that corner up there, about 50 metres up. So I guess I'll turn around there. So get around this corner and have a bit of a look. I'm about 1.8, 1.9 k's in to the gorge from the car park, if anyone's kind of wondering where I am. I mean, there's been a few choke points. There's a little bit of light scrub, but there's nothing really stopping me going further. Wow, it just keeps, it's hard to turn around because just every time I turn a corner, I just think, well, I've got to go and check it out. All right, let's go one more corner. Okay, I'm about 2 k's in. I've got to this choke point. I could scramble around up there or up the top there, but it'd take a bit of work. I think this might do. This has been a really nice walk. I don't know if you can see the water trickling down through that little waterfall there. There's definitely a bit of water flowing. There's even frogs by the sound of it. So yeah, I'm going to turn back here. This is really one of those adventures you can kind of make it up as you go along and turn back wherever. All right, I'll start making my way back to the ute. So heading back down is going to be just as slow as coming up, I think, because now I've got the views that I had behind my back. Be a little bit careful on this sloped rock. It's a bit of loose, kind of loose stones every now and then. End up sliding down into the waterhole. Which wouldn't be optimal. Plenty of caves around. I'm wondering whether the wallabies are using them or the goats. Almost looks like they might get a shower maybe. They're not really predicting it, I don't think. But you never know. It's probably going to blow over, I reckon. I'm down the kind of slow bit. Met up with this track now, so there's a fairly decent track now all the way back. This is where the gorge kind of splits. Had more time, there's a little gully up there you could explore too. And the AllTrails comments say it's very scrubby too, but light scrub at best. There's barely anything. I haven't even got gaiters on, I haven't even got dirty girls on. So the gorge is starting to open up a bit now. I'm getting closer to the car park, probably about half a k to go, I guess. So Telowie Gorge is in the, I might have said at the start, it's in the Southern Flinders Rangers, near Port Germain, Port Pirie, more some people will know. So good in winter, spring and autumn. Probably too hot in summer most of the time. I mean, it's a short walk. If you've got a cool day or a cool morning, you could probably sneak in there. But yeah, when it's baking hot in the middle of the day, probably give this one a miss in summer. Okay, that little Telowie Gorge Walk came to about 4 k's, and according to AllTrails, about 94 metres, although that sounds a bit optimistic. I think because it's very cliffy, obviously I'm in a gorge, I never trust the elevation when I'm around cliffs. Like I've said before, you've only got to be 2 metres out on your GPS setting, and it'll have you at the top of a cliff rather than the bottom. So it kind of stuffs up your elevation figures, I reckon, your vert figures. This little walk, I don't know why I've waited 6 decades to get in here. I've been past this place more than 100 times over the years on various trips on my own, or with mates, or with Sam, or with the old man in the truck. I've never been in here. I've always seen the sign from the highway. One day. Anyway, I've been in there now. It was really good. It's a little bit more adventurous than you may think. I mean, it's one of those walks that gets progressively harder the further you go in. So it's not, if it gets too hard. I mean, I think AllTrails has it as a 3k walk. And I went about 4k, so I went another, half a k in further than AllTrails. You could go a lot further than me. In fact, I know of a route up to the Hyson, up on the top of the ridge to near go-kart shelter, I think it is. And then you come back down a 4-wheel drive track, which I've always kind of had penciled in for one day, and never. We'll see how we go. All right, I'm back at the ute now. I'm going to jump in and head off on my next adventure as I slowly inch my way north to Alice Springs. All right, catch you then.